Hey folks, Jason here with another quick music theory tip. This one is based on a request from Robbie, who asked for chord substitutions. Thank you so much, Robbie. Rest assured, there are going to be many videos in this series involving chord substitutions. I thought a good one to start with today would be substitutions on the 5 chord, and we're going to focus on augmented substitutions of the 5 chord. And we'll get into that in just a second, but just a quick review of what a 5 chord is. If we're in a major key, let's say C major, the 5 chord is going to be based on scale degree 5. In the key of C, this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So G is the 5th note in the key of C. So the 5 chord consists of a root of scale degree 5. The key of C, that would be G. Scale degree 7 makes the 3rd of the chord. In the key of C, this would be B. Scale degree 2, or 9, depending on your perspective, gives us the 5th of the chord. So we have our G chord acting as the 5 chord in the key of C. One of the most common progressions in music, whether you're in a major key or a minor key, is a 5 to a 1. And so that's a G or 5 chord to a C chord or a 1 chord in C major. Here's a G chord or 5 chord to a 1 chord in C minor. Major, minor. Pretty straightforward. Now today we're going to be focusing on various augmented substitutions. The most basic of these is just using an augmented triad, or taking the 5th of the 5 chord and sharping it or raising it a half step. Right? So if you listen to old school country, honky tonk, boogie woogie, stuff like that, you've heard this sound before. Right, that's a pretty common sound. So what I just did basically is we get to the 1 chord, and then instead of playing a basic 5 chord, we do an augmented 5. Now that's just a basic G augmented triad, which is essentially the 5 augmented, sometimes written as 5 with a plus sign as a chord symbol or Roman numeral. But we can also add the 7th to this chord. Right, this is the dominant or flat 7. So we can think about G7 as looking like this. Most folks are familiar with this chord. All we have to do is keep this same shape, but take the 5th and raise it a half step to make it a G7 sharp 5. G7 sharp 5 to C. Notice how the 7th and sharp 5 of this chord enclose, or half step above and below, the 3rd of the C chord. So this makes a really nice blues inflection or a blues nuance that you can add if you're playing blues or country music or honky tonk or boogie woogie or styles like that. The last variation we're going to talk about involves the 9th. A 9th is, anytime somebody says 9th, what they mean is an octave plus a whole step, right? So what we're going to do is a G7, sharp 5, and we're going to add the 9th. 1, 3, sharp 5, dominant 7, 9. So this adds a little more color, a little more substance to that basic augmented triad, or even that 7 sharp 5 sound. To hear it in context, resolving to the 1 chord.